Victoria 3 is finally here. Are you struggling to get your country running? Are you tired of going bankrupt? Would you like to see some big fat green numbers on your upper bar? Then this awesome, spectacular, epic and fantastic industrialization guide is for you. First of all, let's choose an appropriate country. The poorest, smallest and isolated, the better. These are actually some really good nations to get started, but I would also recommend checking these. I will choose Paraguay, a really tough pick since it's landlocked, has very little resources and the neighboring countries are bigger and way scarier than us. If you take a look at your states, you'll notice that you have a certain amount of peasants. These are people that live in subsistence farms. They only produce what they consume and gain very little money. The plan is to get them out of there and put them into highly competitive industries. You've probably heard that a more billion times by now, and while it's a good advice since it points in the right direction, I think is very incomplete. By creating random industries, the situation won't get any better for them. You see, we want to get the peasants to leave their farms and work in the industries so they can make more money. They would later use that money to buy the things they need. Then we can tax them, build more industry, make more peasants richer, and increase our income once again. However, if the things they want to buy are unaffordable, they just won't buy them. And if they can't buy the products they need, they might as well go back to the subsistence farms. So, what do we do? Well, there are two ways to get the goods the population needs. We can import them.
Alright. I said, alright.
Or we can produce them. Therefore, the first step towards absolutely massive and juicy industrialization is to focus on the factories that produce the goods the people want. By clicking here in the market menu you can see what are the basics. Food, furniture and clothing. We need wood to make furniture and fabric to make the clothes. Investing in some tools is also a good idea since it'll boost the production of both the raw materials and the manufactured goods. To make tools we only need wood, but a bit of iron can make the process more efficient. Sounds like a plan. However, take a look at this. This is the construction indicator, and it shows how capable the nation is when it comes to building things. Paraguay doesn't have any construction sectors built, so we have to start with that. Once it's ready, you'll notice that building stuff it's really expensive, and will completely ruin your economy whenever you are doing it. That deficit is produced by the price of the goods needed by the construction sector. Wood and fabric. When something is being built, the demand of those goods will increase, and so will their prices. Therefore, the first thing you have to do before getting into an industrialization process, the step 0 in our plan, is to make sure you have a healthy supply of wood and fabric. That's much better. Now that our economy isn't bleeding, we can begin the industrialization efforts. Don't be afraid of taxing the snot out of everyone at the beginning, as long as you chill out once you start seeing profits. You'll notice that the GDP and the standards of living will rapidly increase, and so will your income. At this moment of the game you should focus on building and upgrading factories in order to meet the people's demands. You can also expand the construction sector if you think your economy can handle it. That will make things speed up. At some point you'd have completely obliterated the peasantry. And, as good as that might sound, it will only make things harder from now on. Now we have no more potential employees, which means that we can't really expand the industry anymore. There are some immediate things you can do to fix that. First, wait for more people to be cursed with the gift of life. Second, make your country more attractive to migrants by making the intelligentsia happy. And third, step on the weak. As a small nation, trading is your friend. Make sure to take the research and pass the reforms that make it cheaper in terms of bureaucracy. Now look. We've reached a point where we really want to free up people, so we can keep expanding the industries. Technology and automation are the key to do this. With some iron and coal, we can make certain processes easier, in a way that the factories will now require much less people in order to make the same amount of goods. This will make wages go up as well as employ people that we can now use in more advanced industries. The idea is to put the now available people into steel mills and motor industries. This will allow us to access new automation processes and also make railroads, which will employ even more workers that we can now use in the basic industries to satisfy the demands of an increasingly richer population. So, if you have coal and iron in your country, it's time to start focusing on that. If not, you better get some. The rest of the game is just a matter of repeating the 3-step cycle. Whenever you are having huge profits, expand or upgrade the construction sector, always making sure you produce enough raw materials to fund it. Build more industries that will help satisfying the needs of the population, and keep your production methods up to date. Once you start overproducing basic goods, you can switch and focus on luxury goods as well. Reforms like laissez-faire and proportional taxation will also help with your income. If you did your chores and passed liberal reforms during the early game, despite the anger of the elites, you'll see that as the standards of living increase, your country will become really attractive to migrants. This will hugely boost your population, and will be fantastic for your economy. And that's really it. Your GDP will grow exponentially, and can be ridiculously high by the end of the game. Here I just played until late 1800s, with almost 40 years left to go. In this game with Chile I played a few decades more. As you can see, due to the exponential nature of the growth, you can get really stupid numbers in a very short time. I hope you find this helpful. Goodbye.